All right, let's talk about the Detroit Lions. We are getting closer and closer to the start of the new league year, which means moves are going to seriously start happening. And it looks like the Lions are lining up to make a massive move in their own right to prepare for an eventual Super Bowl run. It's all part of a smart strategy that we're seeing the fruition coming to hold here in Detroit. Exciting news for the Lions. First, I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, there's a lot of news that kind of broke over the past 24 hours that points to the Lions making a massive move. And I think it's going to come sooner than people think. First and foremost, let's throw up this tweet, this post on X, whatever you want to call it, from Dan Graziano, great reporter over at ESPN. And he highlighted a key change that very few people in terms of NFL executives saw coming involving the salary cap. Directly from Graziano here, the NFL today informed teams that the 2025 per team salary cap will fall in the range of 277.5 million to 281.5 million, way up from last year's 255.4 million. Cap will have increased by more than $53 million over the last 2 years. Nobody was expecting this kind of jump. This is a massive leap in the available salary cap that affects every single team. What does this mean? It means teams that have their quarterback already locked up to long-term deals like the Lions do with Jared Goff now have a lot of flexibility because quarterbacks historically get paid a percentage of the cap. The Lions are stuck with a fixed cost with Jared Goff's salary, right? He ain't going to get more money over the next 3, 4, 5 years, and the salary cap just went exponential. It just got massive. What does it mean? It means the Lions have a chance to make some really massive moves, which leads us into our second report. Let's go ahead and throw this up again from Graziano. Do the Lions have the cap space to make a big time edge rush move, or are they more likely to take the low risk dart throw approach? The answer to both questions is yes. The Lions are absolutely fine on cap space. Like I mentioned before, it just got better and could bring in a big name edge rusher, cough Myles Garrett. If they want, even with superstar Aiden Hutchinson coming back from his leg injury and extension eligible, they're in a win now window with most of their other key guys locked in long term. So, yes, it's not wild to imagine a splash signing. I'm going to go a step beyond that. I think the Lions are going to get it done. I think Myles Garrett is the natural connection there. The Lions are one of the few teams that actually are willing to give up assets, in my opinion, in terms of draft capital, and certainly have the cap space to go get Myles Garrett, who wants to play for a contender. The Browns need some relief. It seems like a deal that I think at this point is a high likelihood of happening. But even if you don't think Myles Garrett, that trade will happen, it's clear the Lions are going to make some kind of massive move over the coming days and weeks. Miles, I know you got some thoughts on this, but first, Lions fans in the comment section below, who's one player you want Detroit to really go after this offseason? Can be anybody on another team in the NFL. Is it Garrett? Is it somebody else? Give us that one guy you think Detroit really needs to go after. Put him in the comment section below. But Miles, enough from me. What are your thoughts on all things Lions, especially with these new developments?
Yeah, Nick, I think it's an exciting time for the Lions because, as the article alluded to, this is a team in win now mode. This is a team that is set to win immediately. And you look at it and what they have on this roster. I mean, the roster is stacked. They're great at linebacker. They're great in the secondary. They're great on O line. They're great at receiver. I think Jameson Williams has the potential to make the next big step. He showed flashes. I think he could get even better. St. Brown's really good. Laporta at tight end is good. Gibbs at running back is good. This team is stacked. They're probably just one really, really good edge rusher away from being even better than they were last year. And obviously last year they're really good, but Hutchinson got hurt, and I think that was a big boon to the Lions' Super Bowl run potential. So I think getting another big-time edge rusher for this team could be really, really good. Also, the idea has been kicked around, like the article said. They could do both, potentially getting Zadarius Smith back as well, another guy that they could re-sign, and it helped this team out as far as some depth on the edge rushing front. This is a team set up, like you said. These teams that have come into this situation with their quarterbacks locked up and now have gotten this huge match. Like I said, $53 million in 2 years is absolutely astronomical when we're talking about the salary cap growth. No one would expect moves like this, and it sets up these teams to have some really good opportunities to make some short-term signings of these elite players and give themselves these win now opportunities. We've seen teams like the Rams do win now mode. They won a Super Bowl from it. I think the Lions are perfectly set up for this as well. So like you said, I think Myles Garrett seems like a really good option. I think they now have more opportunity to potentially pry him away from the Browns. I think they have assets to do it. this team has shown they're not afraid to make things like that happen. So I really am excited to see what they can get done, because I think if everything lays out right, this is going to be an inevitability for the Lions to get a massive edge rusher on this team.
So what we've seen, and with this news with the salary cap change being much higher than anyone expected, 53 million over the past 2 years. And folks, the rate of acceleration is only going to go up. There are reports that Netflix and other streaming services are bidding for NFL games, which means the NFL is going to get even more revenues, which means the salary cap is going to increase even more rapidly, right? We're at just an exponential ascent in the salary cap. So basically, any team that signed their quarterback to a long-term deal or an extension, like the Lions did with Jared Goff last offseason, are going to be sitting so pretty. I know a lot of people look at some of these numbers, especially Jared Goff, and it makes them nervous when they start seeing cap hits in the $60 million a couple times. But folks, it's only based on a mindset, a world of a $250 million salary cap. It's going to be 330, 350 in 2 years. It may be 400 million in 3 years. That's going to make Jared Goff's $60 million-ish salary cap hit look like $38 million today, right? That's how much the salary cap is growing. Other teams are going to have to sign their long-term quarterbacks into that new world. The Lions, they made the extension beforehand, whether they knew something like this was coming or they just made the right decision. Either way, great job by them, because now they have the salary cap to play with for the next 2, 3, 4 years, which means they can go out and get superstars. Because one of the things, you can always move money around in terms of their salary cap. You can either front load it, spread it out evenly, back load it, some combination, right? But one thing you can't do is you can't put yourself in a situation where you have to pay quarterback massive dollars, because that'll weigh everything down. That's why everyone loves the rookie quarterback and the rookie deal. The Lions didn't do that. They got Jared Goff when the salary cap was lower, which means they've got more cap space now to go after these big time moves. I don't know if it'll be Myles Garrett. I honestly think it probably will happen to Detroit. That's my bet. I think the Lions make that trade. I've said that before. But I think regardless of whatever move they make, Garrett or not, the Lions are going into this offseason with a lot of ammunition, and they're about to make some massive moves.